Medical Intuitive Insights with your host, Dr. Gloria Warren, is a program that presents topics on medical intuition, holistic opportunities outside of mainstream society, and scientific research as applied today. Topics range from online intuitive readings to interviews unveiling alternative healing modalities and discussing them with inspirational leaders. Dr. Warren is the bridge within holistic arts while stressing the balance between the spiritual and physical self. So now, please welcome the host of Medical Intuitive Insights, Dr. Gloria Warren.
Are you living with a heart or cardiovascular condition? Facing more than just the diagnosis? Feeling left out in the dark about what comes next? Welcome. I'm Dr. Gloria C. Warren, and you've tuned into Medical Intuitive Insights, where science meets soul and evidence-based care meets inner wisdom healing. Today, we're going to focus on the long road after a heart or cardiovascular diagnosis. Join us as we uncover hidden truths behind the long road after this type of diagnosis. Today's episode dives deep into a topic that touches millions. The long road after this diagnosis. What happens after this situation has been revealed? What changes quietly over time? And how can you stay informed, empowered, and connected to the journey to heart health? Let's explore the lasting impact together. Joining me, just short time period, is Ellen. She'll be with us in a few moments as we explore her story and how her experience may offer clarity for your situation and perhaps others. Please pass this on to anyone you know that has a cardiovascular situation and may need assistance. So we'll take a good look, the pros and cons, and symptom alleviation as part of this cardiovascular care. Could this approach be right for you? Let's break it down clearly, practical, and with heart. However, keep in mind, you really need to ask your medical professional to see if some of the things we mention on this show are right within your situation. Everyone is different. Everyone is unique. So we want to make sure you're taken care of the best as possible. And if you need me to speak with a physician, they can call me. I will talk with them. All right, your voice matters. So we're inviting you for live questions, insights, and comments throughout this episode, because here you are the star of our show. Together, we'll explore real possibilities of healing, some of which may or may not have heard of before. So stay tuned. Today might just be the shift you've been waiting for. So our purpose here is to assist our viewers, to empower them, to help them understand the positive truths and the negative societal beliefs, and what is some of the good, effective things within our society as an alternative healing modality. I am a certified epidemiologist. I'm also an herbologist. I've been in the medical field and pharmaceutical research in various areas, laboratories, and just about everywhere, you name it. So I take my experience as a medical intuitive, and I take a patient and I try to supply them with their situation, which I see intuitively and through remote viewing. And, as most of you may already know, remote viewing is used by the U.S. government, and it is real, and it does work. It's very effective. So I combine that. I've been doing it my whole life. So Ellen is having a little difficulty, I believe, and hopefully she can get on. But let me explain the process here. I give you a sample of what a medical intuitive reading is about when it's done with me. Medical intuitives are all different. So you may find one that is more spiritual and just does the intuitive, and maybe more spiritual and things of that nature. In this case, you find me, I'm a reverend and I'm spiritual, but I do a lot of my things through more of a scientific methodology and using intuition. So What this is about a 10 to 15-minute reading, and then, I look at some photographs she sent me over the last 24 to 48 hours, hands, feet, face, front and back of the body so I can check the spine and some of the internal organs, and I go from there. I write it all down, I document it, I let people know what they can do for it as well. So, it's a three-part situation. First, it is the diagnostics I do, then it is I find the root causes, and then I look for resolutions. So it's a three-part series that is very effective, and I do allow, when I do a full reading, I do allow further phone calls back and forth, just in case you need that, or perhaps you can't read my writing because sometimes I write so fast when I do this. Today, though, for Ellen's situation, I'll allow her to, call me later a couple of times, 2, 3 times if necessary, and I'll call her right after the show and discuss some of the things I found. If it's something very private, I do not mention it on the show. So if you're interested in a free mini medical intuitive reading, please call me. I have a show every Wednesday. Number is 715-892-7500. If you know somebody that needs this information, pass on this video, inspire them to call me, and maybe perhaps I can help them further. Okay. So it doesn't look like Ellen's here yet, but that's okay. I will be taking live questions and comments, so jump in and chat if you're there. Here, you're not just a viewer, you are the star of the show, as well as Ellen, of course. We also have Nurse Peggy with us, Nurse Peggy, and she has dealt with a lot of cardiovascular issues in the past, and she will have a discussion with us after we review all of Ellen's information. So this is great. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, thank you for having me today. Um, I'm a registered nurse with about 45 years experience. I'm also a holistic practitioner. So I can speak to what's out there to look forward to with new diagnoses such as this, and as well as we'll both talk about some holistic methods that help you stay in control and heal yourself as much as you're able to, along with the team that's helping you.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about alternative things as well that you can use in herbology, because I'm an herbologist, so I have to throw that in there somewhere, right? So,
Well,
um,
a cardiovascular diagnosis is obviously very scary. I mean, we all usually only have one heart in our life. Uh, but modern medicine has gone, just amazing. Like when my granddaughter was born as a preemie 17 years ago, she was like 2 pounds, born at 24 weeks. And there were holes in her heart that got repaired. And in that, some in utero and some when she first got out, she's got titanium mesh that's grown up with her all these years. No problems physically throughout the life. She's been a miracle baby. And I've also worked in a waiting for heart transplant unit in the past, which is truly modern medicine with miracles combined. Uh, People used to be, if you didn't have a heart that was functioning, you had to actually push a little wagon around in the hospital setting called a balloon pump. And that's how you kept your ailing heart working until they could find you a new heart.
mhm.
Now we've reduced that, and you might stay in the hospital a year waiting for the right heart. And my experience, I remember on night shift, if the helicopter showed up at this heart hospital in the middle of the night, everybody got out of bed and held hands and prayed that it would be for one of them. And they always prayed for the donor, who obviously is made a big sacrifice to be able to donate it. Uh, and it was just such a moving spiritual experience. And, and this particular hospital, it was their specialty. So there was a lot of success stories. Um, Nowadays, though, they have intravenous medication that you can be attached to at home in a little thing about the size of your cell phone, which goes 24/7, and it keeps your heart pumping until you're ready for a transplant. So there's lots of hope, using the traditional, and as you're having all this anxiety and things, changing lifestyle as you're adjusting to everything. Uh, this is where allopathic and holistic medicine really do come together for the good of everybody.
Yeah. And it's just amazing on how far medicine has come, as well as our knowledge with holistic uh, alternatives. I mean, it's just amazing on all of that. Um, I know that I mean, just about every other person I meet has, after the age of 60, is either on blood pressure medicine or has heart arrhythmias or, cardiovascular means the vascular system throughout your whole body, too. It could just mean your valves are failing in your ankles and legs, or it could mean swelling in the vessels anywhere. So it's not just your heart, too, to keep in mind. You could have a vascular situation around your brain even, and perhaps your body,
Excuse
go
me,
ahead.
Gloria. Why don't we
Mhm.
invite Ellen in to join us now? And you can,
Well,
you
I
know,
don't I
she,
don't think
she,
Ellen is there right now.
she is here. She
So,
is here.
she is there? Oh, then please, by all means, it'd be nice to see her face. So, yeah, I'm not getting any signal that she's Oh, there we go. Yay!
Hi,
Thank
welcome,
you.
Ellen.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us here today. I just went through the basics, Ellen, on what you did for us, sending us the photographs, what the photographs were, and also the idea that this is only a 10 to 15-minute reading. So I cannot come up with everything. Usually a reading is around 2 hours, sometimes even longer. So what I did was I tried to find some basics for you that I think would help contribute to your knowledge base, and also show the public and what we go through sometimes with certain types of diagnosis. So
Excuse me, Ellen.
I'm
I think oh, there she is. Okay, welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I was hearing about the government shutdown.
Oh,
Oh,
this is going to be
interesting.
much healthier.
Yes, and much more enlightening for right now. Anyways, more personal, I should say. So, Ellen, what I'm going to ask you is a verbal HIPAA is what I term it. I don't do stuff in writing here on the show. You're right there. Everyone can hear that if you give your consent or not. So, do you grant your consent for this show, as well as the station and everyone involved, to to discuss your medical situation on this podcast, and perhaps even through reruns on all the different channels?
I do.
Well, thank you so much. And we do keep, but just letting our audience know, we do keep extremely private matters private. We discuss those things after if I come up with things. Okay. So right
Okay,
now though, um, don't forget, we're taking your live questions and comments, so jump in. It's not just us as the people in the show. You are also the star of the show. Stay with us though. We'll be right back. We're getting to take a commercial break, and you won't want to miss her mini reading. Talk to you. See you soon. Bye.
Mike Zorek, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back. You're watching Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria C. Warren, and we have Nurse Betty, and we have our patient today, Ellen. And Ellen just gave us a HIPAA release so that we can actually discuss her medical situation on her mini medical intuitive reading. So, Ellen, are you ready for your reading?
I am.
Is this exciting? You know, something different, right? And maybe
Yeah.
some enlightenment. And that's what we hope. Now, just letting our audience know, this is only like 15 minutes long. This is not a full reading. This is just a sample. We can't do a whole reading. They're around 2 hours. So if you need a reading, call me 715-892-7500. And text is always best. Okay. Ellen, do you have any questions about the process?
No? I'm just
Okay.
ready to go.
Right. I'm very delighted that you're here with us today. Shed some further positive light on your condition. And our viewers get to see it as an example. I started to write things down, by the way, and I know that this is a little rough, but with the pictures that she sent us, I'm just going to start reviewing some of the things. Feel free to stop me, Ellen, at any time if you have any questions. First thing I noticed, obviously the ankle bones swelling, severe edema and swelling. There is a difference. There is also a pathogen involved, so there's inflammation as well. I will be writing with this. So as you know, that edema is swelling, but it's a little bit more than that. It's into the tissue all around. So that tissue, as far as her feet, her ankles, her legs, she has some pretty severe swelling there, don't you?
I do.
Obviously, right? So
Excuse
I
me,
was
Gloria.
looking.
Gloria, I have a
Yeah.
question. Is the swelling equal on both lower extremities, or is it one side or the other?
Almost, not quite.
Okay.
The left side is worse than the right. I'm seeing your carotid arteries are quite severely blocked, and your left side is worse than your, I'm not carotid, femoral arteries. Your left side is much worse than your right side, but they are both a problem. And what I'm seeing is this is where the cardiovascular thing comes in. As far as the vascular thing, the arteries, that they come down, they bring blood away from the heart and to the extremities and everything else. The veins actually bring the blood back to the heart. So what I'm seeing are the veins, they've broken down quite severely in their their valves. So let me see if I can explain this. The valves, when the blood flows through, it goes like this. Well, when the blood is coming upward, it goes like this, and they shut. Usually it's one side and it shuts. The blood pushes it up, and then the valve shuts. These valves have started to break. So a lot of the regular fluids in the tissue all over is breaking down. It's filling up with fluid. So keep that in mind. That there makes me want to also then, I found a few other things, but let me just check your hands real fast here. I want to add to that. I want to check your hands and see what else I missed when it comes to that. So I see your hands. I see, I'm seeing a raised blood sugar. Let me check the vessels. It's a little hard on that one. You have to go to the full body scan to check the vessels. Well, let me check the back. Okay. What I was saying about your legs, though, is your arteries. You have our main artery that comes down, and then it branches into 3 above your foot. And those very thin arterial vessels are getting blocked up, and that's causing a problem with the circulation to your nails, your toes. I can't imagine your bones are not tender, because I see the pressure being placed on your bones, and that just, it's not nice, I'm sure. So let's see here. I want to switch to the full body scan. There we go. Okay, I'm looking at the arteries and the veins coming down left side. That there seems to have some blockage. I'm going to just say 25%. That's not too bad. But I noticed that that muscle up there is really bad. Left side. You're drawing up your left shoulder. And it's not just the drawing up from the muscle, pulling it up like this. You are actually have scoliosis. Obvious. I think you already know this. You have scoliosis, but it's not just the bending of the scoliosis. It's what they call torquing. It's twisting your spine. It's when the spine is not straight. If everybody wanted to know, it actually has bends. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to mark where I see these bends. And wow, yep. So on your neck area, by the way, I have a master's health coaching certification, so I can tell her these things. And this is, like I said, I'll talk to her physician if she likes. So I am seeing your spine leaning to your left side, like this way, in your cervical, in your neck area. And as you go down, the thoracic area is leaning to your right side. That's right. That's left. Got to mark my mannequin. So it's leaning to the right there, but then it starts to twist as it comes down to the lumbar spine. It's what they call torquing, of course. And then it leans to the left again. So a lot of things happening there. I'm sure it's not all nice and cozy. I'm sure you're getting some pain sometimes. And it also affects your hips, I notice. You're lifting that left shoulder. And you're also lifting your left hip. I'm just going to mark these as lifting. Your muscles are tensing up. That could be neurological. I believe I'm going to look further into that. Maybe we could do that part after the show. Let me see what else I came up with. Yeah, I noticed that hip before, but I didn't mark it. And I got that part there in the lifting. And the blood sugar's a little raised. Let's see if I can. Okay, so your lungs are smaller than what they should be. I see swelling in the neck, in the bronchial tubes. I'm just going to divide this out a little. The lungs. Your lungs are very small for your size, and that's lung small output. We'll talk about that reconciliation. How are you feeling? Okay?
Yep.
Great. I'm going to switch over to reconciliation. I'll go back and forth.
But before we overwhelm Ellen with, all kinds of things that you're seeing with, not a lot of explanations, as a nurse, Ellen, if you were coming to see me in the ER or something, I automatically do like a head to toe scan, and I can decide almost what your ethnicity is, what other medical problems you have. And just for brevity, do you have a history of heart disease in your family, or is this brand new to you?
It's brand new to me.
Okay, and are you a diagnosed diabetic already, or any history
No.
of asthma? No.
No.
So, have you been under a lot of stress? Emotional in addition to physical. Obviously, not feeling well is physical stress.
Yeah, but I've not been that. I've been under a lot of stress, but I haven't not been feeling well. I mean, my legs are swollen. I have been a couch potato. I am very I need to exercise a lot more, and I'm tired a lot. But those would be my major. And sometimes I wake up with my legs aching, but um, other
I'm
than
seeing an
that,
arrhythmia. I'm seeing an arrhythmia, and I'm also seeing heart failure. So on a scale of like 1 to 10, I think your heart failure is about a 7 to 8. So that would probably be most likely be the cause of your weakness, fatigue. You don't want to really do much because you're not feeling up to getting up. You need to be energized, of course, but you're going to
right.
have to build your heart slowly. Okay.
I just 6 months ago had all of my heart tests, and I can't even remember the names of each one of them, but I had a whole slew of tests for my heart because I thought maybe and they were fine then, but I haven't exercised, so maybe it's just gotten
Yeah.
worse.
And
Well,
what I'd like to suggest, excuse me, Ellen, it's important. What I'm sensing is that you're kind of beating yourself up because you haven't been doing all these things, but life gets in the way sometimes. Uh, I totally get it myself. I think we're all pretty much in the same generation or close to it. I don't know, anybody's age, but I know that I'm approaching 7 decades myself. Uh, and there's all those shoulda and wouldas that make us feel bad, but even simple things like uh,
Come
if
up,
you can't,
see
if you're not comfortable walking, and stairs are a problem, you could just get up off the chair and walk from the living room to the kitchen a couple times, every morning and in the afternoon till you feel better. Uh, there's things that you can do with your diet. I don't know if you've ever been a smoker or anything like that. You don't have asthma, so uh, that's one thing that's in your favor, but it's kind of scary when Gloria mentions, on a scale of 10, you're up to 7, and this is when the traditional medicine helps because they actually can do a test called an ejection fraction test, which tells you in numerical numbers exactly what you're working with. And it's amazing the mind body connection. If you're under a lot of stress, my grandparents died 1 week to the day apart from each other. And I remember my mother telling me that, they were Polish. Babusha died of a broken heart. And that's a real diagnosis. Medical science accepts that. So real stress, uh, it, it doesn't have to kill you, but, understand that if you're not a failure in some way, that, you've got life just giving you a rougher time, but there's still things you can do with your diet and exercise and prayer is also important. I don't know what your religion is, but uh prayer is a type of meditation, and they have chair yoga for people that can't get up and do real yoga. You can do yoga with just your upper body until you get strength and a little more energy. So go ahead, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
um, I do know that we are getting ready to do another break, but I wanted to mention this. Um, Ellen, I did not, when I looked at your photographs, I saw that you had a cardiovascular situation, and that's why the show is named after that situation. So I could see it right away, and I mentioned it to Peggy. She sees it too, I'm sure. Either way, we'll be back after break to explore your special case and with you, Ellen, and discuss how you can apply these different lessons and journey to your heart journey. Don't forget, we're talking taking live questions. Jump in and chat. Here you are, not just a viewer, you are the star of the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Master of words, powerful player. What life-changing words can Dr. Janet Smith Warfield pull out of her magical toolbox that just might mysteriously open a door you never knew was there? A door to free yourself from fear forever. Transform your rage into right action. Release your guilt. Position you into a life of freedom, purpose, passion, power, and peace. All quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and almost miraculously, with no effort on your part. Join Dr. Janet on Dancing with Words, Dancing with Wisdom, as she and her guests show you how words map our experiences, immersing you in a sound bath that relaxes your muscles, opens your mind, and supports you in co-creating your extraordinary life. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness: Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals.
Welcome back to the third segment of our show, Medical Intuitive Insights. This segment is about empowerment, which we'll be discussing with Nurse Peggy. We've walked through the journey that begins after a heart diagnosis, and now we'll explore what you can do to stay strong, supported, and inspired long after that diagnosis fades into the background. Ellen's story continues, and your questions are coming. Just feel free to shoot us a message. Thank you for being part of this, by the way. And let's go on here. So cardiovascular segment 1 in this is after the diagnosis, what now? Ellen, how are you feeling with what we discussed with you?
I'm feeling very interested and very
yeah,
empowered.
That's fine. Great. So these are things that perhaps we can do to help you deal with symptoms or empowerment. So the first moment you get a diagnosis is powerful. And for many of us, feels like everything shifts. There's an initial shock, worry, and 1,000 questions. But let me reassure you, this is not the end. It's a new beginning, as Nurse Peggy has said to Ellen, I believe just before the break or on the break. I mean, how true is that, right? So after you are diagnosed, usually it's steps people go through. And one is stabilization. Your care team works to assess your condition, starts treatments such as medications, lifestyle changes, procedures. Education and empowerment is one of the next steps. They try to educate you on what your situation is and talk to you about rehab and learning how to track symptoms, eat differently, commit to your healing is also part of teamwork. You're no longer alone. Doctors, nurses, therapists, practitioners of all different types that you choose. Remember, you are the captain of your ship. You are making the decisions for you. It is your decision for what you do for yourself. And it's called self-sustainability, and that's what we're here for. If you're watching this today, that means you're already taking the most powerful steps, engaging with your own care. That matters more than you know. So each section that we have here there's different references. If you'd like a list of those references, please text me 715-892-7500. So now let's talk about the subtler shifts, the ones that sneak in slowly, often without failure. First, inside your body, your heart and blood vessels might change shape or get stiff over time. And you might notice fatigue, shortness of breath, just what Ellen was talking about here, are symptoms that feel new but are actually evolving as signs of your condition. And they creep up on you, don't they, Ellen?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it all creeped up on you until one day you're like, I just can't get up. I don't want to. I'm so tired or fatigued. And I think a lot of us has gone through some of those symptoms, but when you get a cardiovascular diagnosis, it gets a little scarier, Medications may be harder to tolerate because usually you're older and harder to remember to take. Daytimers, I think, Peggy, that's what I use, are daytimers for everyone I take care of. How about you? With medications?
with medications, a lot of times people tend to be embarrassed about telling their doctor that it makes them feel worse. And sometimes in the first couple weeks, maybe some of the blood pressure medicines, you are extra tired, you do feel worse. But there's what things that can be done. The dose could be split between 2 doses. If you're already only taking it once a day, you could take it at bedtime if your doctor agrees. And then the worst side effects would be over by the time you wake up, but you still get the benefit of the med. There's a lot of different things to learn about, so you should never be, there's no stupid questions to ask, but you can ask yourself, your body, what do you need right now? What are you trying to tell me? And if you can just be quiet and listen, you will get the answer from yourself. My mother used to say, if you ask the question, you already know the answer. And I think in many ways that's true, but you still need to hear it sometimes. And you've got to follow your gut. But there's always hope. And
Yep.
as women, we're often caregivers. We're taking care of everybody else, the grandkids, the spouses. I lost my husband 8 years ago, and there was a big hole in my life after years of trying to take care of him. That's all
Right,
normal.
right.
It's all part of life, but it did take a physical toll because I didn't take as good of care of myself as I should have, as I could have, I should say. We want to get those shoulds and out of the vocabulary. But go ahead, Gloria.
Oh, I mean, excellent things brought up, like dividing up the dose. Don't divide up doses by yourself, though. Always run it through your
I
medical
need to
professional.
interrupt for a minute.
Sure.
I don't take Western medicine if I don't have to.
Right.
I have
That's good to
not
know.
taken any Western medicine until about 6 months ago. I made a deal with my cholesterol was a little high, and so my doctor, who understands me, said she'd make a deal. I could work to get it down by the next time, and if I didn't, then I had to take a statin. And so I have been taking 5 milligram, teeny tiny little
Low
pill.
dose. Yeah.
That's the only Western medicine that
Right.
I'm taking and that
Yep.
I've taken in years. So
Yeah, I'm interesting. I'm glad you told us that. A lot of these things are for our viewers too, though. So I do need to mention everything, even though it's not for you. So, but
that's fine. I'm
that's
just
what we go through. But I'm so glad. See, that's an option too. You could um, talk to us about maybe who Ellen sees, even if you don't want to take Western medicine. There are alternatives out there. Whether they're good enough is up to the practitioner to decide. But none of this means you're failing. It just means it's time for support, adjustment, and realignment. Even though you may get emotional weight, fear, loneliness, frustration, it can all build up. It's not a good thing to know. And then now we have so how do we stay ahead of the curve? Heart strong, soul centered. Here's some real strategies that can work. Be active in your care. Follow up consistently. Commit to lifestyle choices that heal. Okay. Join support systems. They're all over. Even the hospitals have them. I know a lot of holistic places that have different support groups. Stay curious. Always do your own research. Bring things up to your medical professional. Collaborate with your team and nurture with resilience. So your diagnosis does not define you. And that's really, I think, one of the most important things to remember. Your response, though, does define you. And right now, you're already rewriting your story, not with fear, but with clarity, courage, and community. So as we head into our final break, I'm going to stop there for one moment, though, and I'm going to see if there's any more input from Peggy on what I said
I
about.
think it's important to, and if you're not already, and I suspect you might be, include gratitude philosophies and practices in your life,
I love
because
that idea.
no matter how bad you feel like your life is, if you can list 2 to 3 things that you're grateful for, you're still here to talk about and
Mhm.
we all reach that time in our life where we have to make some decisions, but as long as your body and your mind will know when that time comes. And I see a long, you're not anywhere near that stage, but you do need to just look, practice loving yourself and just being grateful Yeah, and have motivation. Maybe it's grandkids, or you want to see a grandchild get married or a new baby get born. Whatever your motivation is, that helps the path.
And one other thing I noticed too with Ellen, I noticed like your toenails, they're starting to thicken, they're starting to raise up a little bit of wrapping on the side edges. And that's not always from what is it, oncholysis. It can actually be from low circulation, and that's where yours is coming from, low circulation. And this is, you know, you got to start moving your legs more. Put your legs up. Uh, you know, do different things to get the swelling down. I know it's not always easy, but we're there rooting for
Well,
you. And go ahead.
I have these boots that were prescribed, the
Yeah,
inflatable boots. I'm supposed
Right.
to use them 2 hours a day. I haven't been very good about getting the full 2 hours, but I'm pretty good about getting at least an hour a day with the boots.
good,
And
good.
that
You
has
can
made a
also
difference.
divide those 2 hours into 15-minute segments if you have to, and you'll still benefit from it. It doesn't have to sit there
Right.
like a prison sentence.
That's a
Yeah,
good
I
point.
don't
Sometimes
I
it can
don't
feel like
regard it as it's my way to have some time to myself.
that.
So
Mhm.
I don't regard it as a prison sentence. It's just trying to fit
Yeah,
it
you
in.
must you must not have any dogs or cats if you have time to
Oh,
yourself.
no
Right.
way, we have both. So
So, I fully agree though with you, Peggy, and Ellen. I'm so glad that we had you here. Do you feel like we hit the nerve, so to speak? You feel like I saw some of the things really bothering your physical being?
yeah, I think I just need more reinforcement. I am a sugar addict and I need
Mhm.
much more reinforcement with that. It's gotten worse and worse.
Um, yeah.
And I also
Okay.
know that I need to exercise. Um, Part of the stress that I've been under is that my older son started a not-for-profit 8 years ago, and he is now deceased, and so I've been running it. Um, and we just had our harvest festival, so my life was like
Mm,
crazy. Um, but we're on the verge and of getting to a point where I think we can get enough funding so that we can hire an executive director and an operations manager, and I can really step back. So
that would
Learning
that's
be
to delegate is actually a good tool that
yes.
that helps a lot. I'm sorry for your loss. Parents are not supposed to outlive their children, and I know that that's a big stress. I'm sorry you're going through that. But you're on the right track. If you're able to, but don't feel guilty if you can't. You have to step back anyway and let people pick up more responsibility until
well,
you hire that person.
I'm ready, and it's just finding the people to delegate to has been a little bit difficult. But I've got two really fantastic people that I'm working with, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel that I will within the next 4 or 5 months have my life back again.
Well, that's a
I
blessing.
want to just say real briefly, I know we're running out of time. Sugar is one of the biggest villains for inflammation in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are some meditations and some hypnosis, self hypnosis that can help you overcome that. And I'll let you close the show, Ellen. I'm not sure where we're at with the
Okay.
calendar here.
Well,
Well, and
as we
I'd
head
like to
into
say
go
Yes, go
ahead.
ahead.
one thing. I don't know. You talked that you were in your. I will be 80 on Friday,
Oh,
and so I'm
Happy
feeling
birthday.
pretty
guys,
good
we're going to have to pick this up after the
for.
break. We head into the final
Okay.
break. I invite all of our viewers to reflect on what today's conversation has stirred in you, whether it's a new question, a renewed sense of possibility, or simply a moment of clarity. This is your journey, and you're not alone. When we return, we'll conclude with empowering insights, key takeaways for viewers, a heartfelt message you won't want to miss. Stay with us. Our final chapter is coming up.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Master of words, powerful player. What life-changing words can Dr. Janet Smith Warfield pull out of her magical toolbox that just might mysteriously open a door you never knew was there? A door to free yourself from fear forever. Transform your rage into right action. Release your guilt. Position you into a life of freedom, purpose, passion, power, and peace. All quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and almost miraculously, with no effort on your part. Join Dr. Janet on Dancing with Words, Dancing with Wisdom, as she and her guests show you how words map our experiences, immersing you in a sound bath that relaxes your muscles, opens your mind, and supports you in co-creating your extraordinary life.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's episode of Medical Intuitive Insights. We've explored the path after diagnosis, the changes that unfold quietly, and how to stay connected, not just your health, but to your power. Now, as we wrap up, let's bring it all home in some final reflections, actionable tools, and reminders that healing isn't just about your heart, it's all about wholeness. Let's finish the journey together in clarity, courage, and compassion. Today, we've seen a medical intuitive reading on Ellen. Ellen, do you have any questions for Nurse Peggy?
No, I think I've got a pretty clear view of what I need to work on more
Okay.
in my life, and it sort of documents some of my feelings about what was going on. But you know, I feel extremely lucky to be as healthy as I am at 80 and to have been able to do what I can to continue to be involved in making this a better world.
Well, I
Okay.
know that
Well,
your son is very proud of you, Ellen, and
mhm.
I don't think he's ready to meet you again, not just yet. So, uh, you know,
Okay.
Oh, he's
Nurse
there for
Peggy.
me though. I keep getting messages about what I need to do, and I know where they're
absolutely
coming from.
right. I get the same messages from my husband. I know.
Nurse Peggy, how can people get a hold of you if they have any questions for you?
My email is notjusthypnosis@gmail.com. I am also an integrative health nutrition coach. So, Ellen, I can send you some diet things that don't take a lot of work that'll help you if
That
anybody
would be
needs
great.
information like that. And just keep loving yourself and keep loving life. And, God will take care of the rest.
Nice. So, Ellen, what is your nonprofit's name and how can they get a hold of you?
It's Growing Healthy Veterans, and our website is growinghealthyveterans.org. I'm Ellen at growinghealthyveterans.org. No, yeah, Ellen at growinghealthyveterans.org. And we are in North Chicago, Illinois. And our initial mission was to help veterans heal from the traumas of war through horticulture therapy. So we have a big garden, and we are expanding. We've expanded our mission to include active duty because of the high suicide rate among active duty. But what we found is the biggest healing for our veterans and active duty is being together and working on a new mission, which is to help feed the city of North Chicago, which is
Thank
one of
you.
the biggest food deserts in the state of
There
Illinois.
is. And I appreciate all that hard work you do. I'm sure that many people appreciate all your hard work. So we're opening our hearts and our airwaves to a select few courageous souls, just like Ellen here, that are ready to receive free on-air guidance, holistic insight, and soul-level healing. If that resonates with you, we invite you to step forward with a flash mini read. Send me a message or comments in the comments, or text me at 715-892-7500. I will ask you to send some photos. Let's connect spirit to spirit. Ready for full medical reading? Please contact me. Once again, 715-892-7500. Text is best. Coming December, join us for Life Connect retreats and a transformational gathering focused on youth rejuvenation. We'll dive into the latest scientific discoveries. These are things that are not given, information not shown anywhere else. And we put together all the scientific, the people that do procedures, the different types of treatments you can receive, the different type of holistic practices you can do. Please keep us in mind. That's once again in December. Remember, reserve your space early because we do fill up. Gracious and loving God, thank you for being the ultimate source of restoration, for walking beside us through every trial, and for touching our minds, bodies, and spirits with your divine care. We ask now that you continue to heal what is wounded, strengthen what is weak, and renew what has been burdened. May every viewer leave the space uplifted, reminded that your love is the deepest medicine, and that there is always hope, always purpose, always peace. Amen. There's so many things we can do. If you'd like a list of holistic herbs, and that's me, an herbologist, if you like a list of herbs that will help with different various cardiovascular situations to help alleviate symptoms and perhaps do more, I can send you that. If you text me, just put herb list, CV, cardiovascular, and I'll send it to you. I'll attach it or figure out a way to get it to you. Thank you so much for being here. There, for the grace of God, go I. Thank you for being here. God bless you, and may your path be filled with healing. Till next time.
This has been Medical Intuitive Insights with host Dr. Gloria Warren. Tune in each week as Gloria shares over 40 years of experience and yearns to provide knowledge derived from intuition and research. Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern.